we talked about entitlement with some of the other issues he had, and I think that probably was starting to carry forward on the golf course, in which he was the ruler of his little kingdom and didn't have to mess with the little people, forgetting from him that the little people are the ones that kind of carry the sport. And I think that's the change we're going to see in him, at least during the practice days. There's a lot of cynicism about that, and again, that's something only he knows. What he said that day was I do plan to return to golf. It may be this year. To some, I left that day thinking it'd be at the Masters. Some thought it'd be the U.S. Open. Some thought it would be, way later in the year. Who knows? And before long, he's back from therapy. He had actually gone out to Arizona for a week of family therapy, and then he's back to hitting balls. What Tiger said was, hitting balls again, and then doing it the next day for a little bit longer. He gets the golf bug again, just like millions of other players, and he was ready to play. But from there, and this is clever with Tiger, what he's always done. He doesn't really tackle the question head on. No, I wasn't misleading you. No, I really didn't know when I was going to play again. He immediately said, well, I wasn't ready for Bay Hill in the Tavistock Cup. Well, we didn't ask him that. I wouldn't call it a bombshell because he's still walking. How much of a surprise? Yeah, it was a big surprise. I mean, all we knew, and that was one of the questions we had, was why were you doing blood spinning with Dr. Galea as you're returning at the match play last February instead of waiting? And then we find out that he has this Achilles thing. I mean, no one knew. Tiger never said anything, and it's not like he had to make a lot of excuses because he did win 7 times last year, so it was still pretty good. And he almost won a major, almost won a couple of majors actually, so it's not like he stunk. That was a real shocker. He did talk about not hitting the ball very far, not being able to push off that right foot. And that would explain why Mickelson was blowing it past him during the final round last year, which really annoyed Tiger. He really didn't get his pop back, he said, until May. But even then, he said his knee was getting more stable, and that was giving him his pop back. So he was misleading us then, and why he didn't feel compelled to come out and say, look, I tore up my Achilles. I don't know. And again, you hear Achilles mostly with basketball players. They're not playing for a long, long time. I'm not sure exactly how it is in golf, but it does make it hard to walk. And frankly, I don't recall seeing a lot of limping last year. Sometimes Tiger's trying so hard, especially in '06 when he knew his father was dying. He wanted so bad to win one last Masters that he kind of got in the way of himself. Something tells me now that with his world kind of chaotic around him, he's going to take a little more of a breath, be a little more slower of pace, and not push too much. Who knows? He's capable of going home on Friday night. He's capable of being there on Sunday afternoon. That's what's going to make it kind of interesting.